Good day, one and all. My name is Kathy, and welcome to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Today, I'm going to be making a card with a little bit of everything on it: stenciling, stamping, die cutting, and foiling. So the foiling, I want to get that out of the way because when I have my mink on, it tends to make my fluorescent overhead lights glitter and twinkle. So I'm going to be using the stamps, die, and stencil set today. I'm using is GinaK's Delicate Dahlias, and I have already cut out one of the Poly-Glaze flowers that go with the set, and I cut it out. So that's what I'm going to foil first. And I don't have a carrier sheet, so I'm just using a piece of copy paper. And I'm using GinaK. This is her Sterling Fancy Foil. And I'm going to get that right over the flower and run that through. That takes just a moment to go through, and then I can turn that off and save the lights. You may not be able to see it on camera, but it's kind of like strobing, at least for me. And the machine was making some funky noises earlier, so I may end up getting a new machine. And if I think I need one, I think I'll go with the GinaK Fuse instead of this one. But guys, in the meantime, I have an old trusty laminator that I can dig out. Let me see if this worked. And oh, it did. Look at how beautiful, shiny, and silver that is. And I'll save that piece of foil, and then later on I'll take a piece of white Poly-Glaze and run it through. There, have that turned off. Okay, so my card today, it's a purple card. This is GinaK's Wild Wisteria, 10 inches by 7 inches, scored it at the 5-inch line, folded it, increased it with my bone folder. And then we'll be using a 6 3/4 by 4 3/4 piece of black cardstock, 2 pieces of white 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then I have a white scalloped edge circle. This is from GinaK's Master Layouts 8. If you don't have that, any circle will do. This circle just measures 3 and approximately 5/16. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a light stencil on one of these white pieces. So I have my Waffle flower grip mat here. And I'll be using another GinaK stencil. This one is her Harvest Flourish. And I'm just going to stencil this all over in soft stone, a very light gray, and I want to use a very light hand. I don't want it to be too dark, but I don't want it to be so light that you can't see it either. I just want to create a gentle, soothing background. And Pumpkin, no, you can't go out right now. I'm sorry. I have 2 cats down here with me right now. And I'm just going to move that over so I can get a little stenciling over here. Okay. And that just makes that a little light gray. All right, now I need to cut this out. I'll just set this aside to wash. Now, I'm using GinaK's, this is Master Layouts 11. That's the postage stamp die. And I'm using this one that cuts out the 4 layers. And I'm just going to cut half and half, because I'm making a 5 by 7 card, and this postage frame is meant for an A2 size card. Now get my tweezers. Just going to poke the edges out for now so that I can cut out the other half of this. And the 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, just the perfect size to get 2 of those out of one die. And I'll start poking out these centers while I'm waiting for that to cut. A few more to poke out this time. These come up fairly easily. If I would use my little brush, I have one of those little rolling brushes to take out the centers. Tweezers work just as well. It really doesn't take very long. And I don't want to fast forward because I want you to see how long, or not really how long, it takes to get those all out. You could even use a very soft bristle toothbrush if you don't have a tool designed specifically for this. Okay, now I've got little pieces everywhere, and that is A-okay. I don't need the cutting platform anymore. I do need my stencil to color, but I want to show you. This is what I intend to do. I'm going to put the black down, and I'm just going to glue the black down first. And then I'll show you the layout. I think the black and the purple just go so beautiful together. Let me get that die off to the side. And now this is going to go right like that. And this will come right up against it. And I'll just center them together on here when I'm done. And then I have the circle that's going to go in the middle. And this is where the flower is going to be. But I want to stamp on here some more of the flowers and foliage. I'm going to move my stencil mat just for a minute. I'm going to put both of these in here at once. And those will go together just like that. And then get my center stamp. All right. Now on here, there are a couple flowers and a leafery. I think I want to put that flower here. And maybe those leaves here. I'll start with them. And I can take that out for now. And I'm just going to stamp these with my VersaFine Clear Nocturne. Clean that off with my tidy towel. I think, and if I put this flower, and I'm going to angle the flower different, and then those leaves here. And then I'm just going to take the single leaf and place it in the 4 corners around here. The longest part of this will be coloring with the stencil, and that really won't take that long, I hope, because I'm not going to use a lot of colors, just a couple. All right, I'm done with the big ones. I just need to place this little one all the way around. So I'll bring my circle back. I just kind of want to frame out the circle. But I also want to move it out of the way so I don't have to cut another one if I get ink on it. And this would look pretty on its own without the center circle. Okay, now I can remove these and bring in my circle because I want to stamp some wording on my circle. The flower I'm going to color in, and I want that to go across the middle. I'll put these stamps back on here. Sure. Now I want to put sending love kind of up here at the top. Let me get that on first. I'll do one more stamping. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a cord holder from the mink. Now, but then if I'm going to pop up this, and I could turn this like, oh, I like it like that even. So I'll turn it that way. And then I want to put on your birthday at the bottom. So it'll be sending love on your birthday. Perfect. Don't need the black ink anymore. Okay, now I do need my stencil mat. And let's just move some of these off to the side. I think I've got a dry cloth here, which just makes more fuzzies, but that's all right. Okay, let's put the stamps back in the folder and grab the stencil. Now, there is one more thing I wanted to do on these pieces. The Master Layouts 11 also has this frame that cuts out the inside squares. So I just cut it on a piece of scrap. And what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of purple ink shading around the side. So what I'm going to do, get that where I want it. And then I'm going to put the purple squares down. Or not the purple squares, the squares that I cut out. Just to kind of cover up the center. And then I'm just going to lift this up. And I'm going to have to hold these down. Or if you have some mint tape or something like that. I'm just going to hold them in place and do a little bit, very pale. And let me see if I have another scrap of paper. Oh, yeah, there's one in the trash. Okay. That was from my other card. And I just want to do a light shading around the edges. You know what? I could do that with the frame, but now we'll hold those two down. Now you could tape these down. If I felt like getting up and bringing over some washi tape, I would do that, which I think I'm going to do because I want to get some in the middle. Just a minute, pumpkin. Yeah, this is just some I had left over from the card the other day. Since I have the edge, I'm just going to hold this down a little bit. I hear you, sweetie. You're perfectly fine down here. We'll be going upstairs shortly. I know. Did you want to say hi to everybody out there in TV land? Let's see how that looks. Yes, that gives you a nice, nice edging. Now I'm going to do the same on this other piece. And just put the frame back down. And cutting out the frame just kind of gives me an idea of placement so that I can try and keep them as uniform as possible. It does not have to be perfect. There is nothing in this world that is perfect. And I'll just hold that down until I get the one side or the other secured. That's over a little further than I would like it. And I need there. And here we go. You could also cut these shapes out of Masking Magic, which I probably would have thought in advance. I have masking paper. I could have just cut these as masks, which would have been a lot easier. But if you don't have any masking magic or anything like that, this is how you do it. Just with finger dexterity. Or not. Well, get those as straight as can. I can leave these ones off the top now, so just need to go down to the bottom center and then off to the sides. That just gives more of a, like a picture frame window. And then you could use these in another project if you wanted to. All right. Now to do the actual stenciling of the flower, I'm going to start with the Poly-Glazed flower. Let's see which one that is. If there is a stencil for that one. Okay, this is the right side up. That's for a 3-leaf. This is a 2-leaf. Okay, that one will work there. So I'm going to use Applemint for the greenery. I thought that would be pretty with the purple. And then this, I believe, is this one. Okay, and then for the flower itself, okay, that goes right there. And I'm just still going to use the same Wild Wisteria, only I'll go a little darker than I did for the frame. Then I'm just going to take a dry cloth. I'll just use a paper towel just to wipe it off on top of the foil. And that's that flower. And I love how shiny that foil makes it look. All right. Let's get these parts out now. The flower should be this flower now. Yes, sir. What can Mama do for you? Oh, well, we'll go upstairs and have supper in just a little bit, okay? You getting hungry? My ginger cat is quite a talker. My other cat's down here laying in his bed, and he's just chill as all can be. All right, now I just need the greenery, so I'm going to set that aside. Put the purple away. And just get out this. You're just going to have to hold on, please. And look at the Applemint. And this one. Hold on, I'm going to go let him out. You have to go upstairs and use the bathroom, huh? All right. There you go. All right. Now this one, I'm not sure if it's, I picked the right one. And this one I'm going to do a little bit lighter than I did the other ones. The longest part that this card takes and took was the stenciling around the outside of the postal frame. Now, if you were just doing an A2 size card, one of these would fit on it perfectly. But when you do a 5x7, two fit nicely. Okay. Set the stencils aside. I'll save that frame for another day. Now to get these lined up on this card. I think right about here will give me a nice double-sided equal amount on the edges. And I'm not done with stenciling. I do want to do a flower on the inside of the card this time. Just because. Make sure I'm not getting any ink on the back. And I didn't. Good. That's good. Slide that over because it shifted on me. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to pop up the center frame, and I'm going to use some foam dots. Let's see. Grab my... thought I had some bigger circles. Well, I'll use my medium-sized circles. These are just from Hobby Lobby. You can use any that you have. This is a taller loft than my little strips. So these are about 1/8 of an inch in height. Okay. Just going to stand up Get that centered. And that is going to go right here in the middle. And I do want to pop that up, but not as high. So for that, I'm going to use my thin foam strips. And that one's stuck. Use some pieces parts. Just cut that off. That one I didn't take off. I do like it that way. Okay, we're going to go up. All right, I'm going to quickly do the inside. I'm just going to set that aside for just a minute. I'm just going to stamp one flower, the same one that I did on the front. I'm going to do that in this corner. And I'll also put the same on the envelope, but I can do that off camera. I always put something in the bottom left of the corner of the envelope that coordinates with the card that I do. How you tell? Stencil for the leaves. And the flower. How about that? Nope, that's not the right one. Yeah, I guess that is the right one. All right. I'll just use what's on my brush. And then the flower. It should be this flower. And again, I'm just going to use what's left on my brush. So this one will be lighter than the outside. Okay. Put this on the inside, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of bling, and the card is done. It doesn't need a lot of bling. Okay. Now I wanted to go old school with some silver silver sequins. I have a ton of sequins and want to get them used. And I thought the silver would kind of go nicely with the gray here. Yeah, okay, that's a placement I'm going to use. No, that one had two sequins on one. But then in the sequin, I want to try, and I'm going to try it on one off camera, not off camera, but off the card. I want to try a little bit of liquid pearls in the center of a sequin. So I'm going to try that here. Because I have this real pretty lavender lace. And I want to see how it would look on the inside of a pearl. Like a little pearl inside the sequin. And it's just going to flatten out. So that's not going to, I'm just going to go with those sequins. All right. So that is my card for today. Very simple, but this shows you how you can use an A2 size die to make it fit a 5x7 card. And I love Poly-Glaze. Oh, I'm enamored with that. It's so easy to foil. Well, thank you so much for watching. I honestly don't know if there's going to be a video tomorrow, which will be Thursday. I'm working down at the Historical Society, and I had some projects to do this morning, so I didn't get to this until this afternoon. I'll try. If not, I will see you on Friday. There will be one on Friday. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you at least on Friday.